you for tuning in to the Andrew Tate Show by GSMC Sports. We have a great show for you today. We'll be covering rumors of Dak Prescott going to Miami, the release of the college football playoff schedule, Duke basketball and the SEC, drama surrounding Joey Chestnut and the Nathan's famous hot dog eating contest, and then stick around for segment 5 when we will be talking about a restaurant that has implemented an age restriction with some divisive results. As always, before we start the show, I would like to ask that you like and follow, subscribe to the show. That really does help. In addition, we do get a number of questions that come in during the show. If you go to gsmcpodcast.net, you can leave a tip or a donation that ensures that your question gets at the top of our list, making sure that we see it and can engage with it. Again, that link is gsmcpodcast.net. And Tate, how are you today?
Hello, Miss Sarah. Let me get situated here. How are you doing today?
I'm okay. I'm weird.
Wow, that was a weird little pregnant pause in there.
I'm weirdly cold, and you know me, I am never cold.
That is kind of weird. Especially because we have like 80-degree weather.
Yeah,
perfect. It's actually been perfect weather.
Beautiful, beautiful weather, but I am currently wearing giant fluffy Christmas socks.
That is nuts. That's nuts. Okay.
Fortunately, you can't see my giant fluffy Christmas socks on camera, so we don't have to worry about that. How are you?
I'm good. I'm a little, it's been a long week, and you get a little tired sometimes. This is me. I'm not at my peak today, but I'm doing it.
It's only Wednesday, and it has been a long week. I agree.
It does feel like today should be like Thursday or Friday to me.
Or next week?
You just want to scrap the whole week.
I just feel like we've been so much through this week that it's already next week. I don't know. I'm in the future.
I love it.
Let's go ahead and talk about our first segment as I get set up. In the midst of NFL rumor season, a particularly captivating speculation has emerged. Dak Prescott, the seasoned quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, might become the future signal caller for the Miami Dolphins. This intriguing idea comes against the backdrop of contrasting trajectories for the two franchises. The Cowboys, despite assembling a roster brimming with talent, have consistently fallen short of their championship aspirations, not reaching the NFC Championship game or securing a Super Bowl since 1995. Prescott, who has been pivotal for Dallas, has shown during the regular season but faltered in the playoffs. With his contract set to expire after the upcoming season, speculation about his departure is gaining momentum. On the other side, the Dolphins are experiencing a surge of success led by the young quarterback Tua Tagovailoa. Last season, Tagovailoa led the NFL with 4,624 passing yards and a 69.3% completion rate, making Miami one of the league's most explosive offenses. However, despite his impressive stats, the Dolphins fell short in the playoffs against the Kansas City Chiefs, highlighting the unforgiving nature of postseason football. Amidst these dynamics, former NFL star receiver Plaxico Burress made a bold prediction on the Carton Show, suggesting that if the Cowboys miss the playoffs, Prescott will be seen in a Dolphins jersey. This statement underscores the precarious nature of NFL careers and hints at a possible dramatic shift in Prescott's career path. If Prescott were to move to Miami, he would bring veteran leadership to a team full of potential, but still striving for true championship contention. While Tagovailoa has shown promise, debates about his ability to lead the Dolphins to ultimate success persist. Prescott, despite his playoff struggles, could provide the necessary experience to help the Dolphins convert their offensive power into substantial achievements. Meanwhile, the Cowboys might turn to Trey Lance, a promising young quarterback, to step up. As the 2024 NFL season approaches, the sports world is keenly watching the developments surrounding Prescott and the Dolphins. This potential move could redefine Prescott's career and significantly alter the NFL's competitive landscape. Whether the speculation becomes reality remains to be seen, of course, but the excitement and unpredictability of the NFL continue to captivate fans and analysts alike. So, rumor season, what do you think?
Okay, this is weird because I think it was like a week ago, just a week ago, I made the same statement.
You did?
I did.
Okay.
So, okay. And here's my take on this. I don't think this is absolutely crazy. It's a rumor.
Sure.
It's not even a rumor. It's speculation on future, projecting where things will go.
did you somehow manifest?
I don't know, because I was the only person that said this. I brought it up in the production meeting, so there's a number of people that can verify that I've said this. I looked at it and I said, okay, if Dallas does not sign Dak, when you look around the landscape, what team would go after Dak? It would have to be a team that thinks they're quarterback away from contending for a Super Bowl. And the team, or in a team that's not 100% in love with their quarterback. And the first team that pops in my head is the Miami Dolphins. I think Tua has done amazing things for them, just like Dak has done amazing things for the Cowboys, but they're not 100% sold. Where Dak is that guy that sometimes teams covet what they don't have. Dak is a potential MVP candidate. I could see Miami wanting to go after Dak, paying Dak the money that he wants. That's the first thing. That's 65 million. Going to Florida, no state taxes. That makes that closer to 65-70 million. Then you're talking about partnering up with Tyreek Hill and all the weapons that they have. I think Dak would jump at this one. Dallas, on the other hand, looking at things and saying, if we're not going to progress further than first round of playoffs and out, maybe it's time to rebuild. And looking at possibly trade Lance. Or, Tua. Tua could be, it's kind of a weird thing where you could actually have a scenario where not through via trade, but through just switching. Dak gets signed by the Dolphins, Tua gets released, and I could see the Cowboys bringing Tua in or working with Trey Lance, depending on Trey Lance's advancing. His, improving throughout and advancing throughout the season. This is not as crazy as one would think. I think Dak and Dak's family wants a fresh start. I know Dak's family has talked about wishing he wasn't in Dallas. There comes a lot less pressure on Dak to perform when you don't have that star on that helmet. Dak going to Miami, he would be definitely embraced by the city. The city would be excited to have him. Being able to work with a Tyreek Hill and the players that they have, I could totally see that as maybe one of the top choices for Dak at the end of this year, when Dak is a free agent. A true free agent, can't be franchised, can't be traded. When Dak leaves this, do not be surprised if you don't see this. I personally think Tua has been, a nice quarterback for the Dolphins. There's a lot of people that are very down on Tua. I'm not one of them. I think turning the page on Tua would be a mistake. I think turning the page on Tua for Dak Prescott is a push. I think Tua's numbers and what Tua's done has been on par with what Dak has done as well, except for Tua's younger. And so I personally, if I'm the Dolphins, I would not go that route, but I know a lot of people that are Dolphin fans would say it would be an improvement. And, you're talking about bringing Dak in. One thing people don't think about when you talk about bringing in Dak is there's going to be, in order to sign Dak, it is going to be a massive contract. And when you're talking about signing a quarterback for 65 million, what he's going to get on the free agent market, there's going to be players that are going to have to part ways with over the next couple of seasons. And so when people start thinking about, oh, Dak coming to Miami, or at the end of the year, where's Dak going to land? There's going to have to be a situation where there is cap room, but bracing for players to go. And so it's gonna be interesting to see what happens. But this is too early to be like, oh, this is a concern. But it is something to keep an eye out on, because I do think it is a strong possibility at the end of this year that the Dolphins don't make a move for Dak.
So let me ask you a question. So it sounds like Tua and Dak both maybe struggle a little bit in the offseason. So
I mean, talking about the playoffs, yes. I understand what you're
so why would you want to replace your younger, less expensive quarterback with an older, more expensive quarterback?
Well,
is that a concern or consideration?
Tua's younger, but Tua has the issue with Tua isn't really his play. Last year, it's been his health. Last year, Tua was very healthy, but the year before that, yes, many people speculated if Tua got another head injury, it may be time for Tua to retire, even though he's young. The head injuries is what makes everyone very leery about Tua. I think if Tua can put together another healthy season, where it's 2 seasons in between those two, that disastrous season, I think a lot of that will go away. But I do think the Dolphins have been very leery about investing long term in Tua because of those head injuries. And I don't think they would have a problem whatsoever investing in Dak, who has been pretty much a very sturdy, healthy quarterback, with the exception of that 1 year. So I can understand why they consider that, but I'm not done with Tua. I think Tua has a lot more tread. He's a young quarterback, and I feel like Tua's only going to get better.
Well, the thing is, you can never predict who's going to be.
You can predict, but everyone can be incredibly wrong as well.
You never know what's going to happen in terms of injuries and unforeseen consequences. So it's something to keep an eye on. And if it does actually happen, I'm going to give you credit for manifesting.
Yeah, okay. Listen, I get this before Plaxico Burress did
because, it. Because I mean, I was in that production meeting. We should have recorded the production meeting, so we had proof. We're going to go ahead and take our first break for this episode. When we come back, the college football playoff schedule has been released, so we'll be talking about that. You are tuned into the Andrew Tate Show by GSMC Sports, and we will be right back.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on their fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits. I'm losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip. You choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
Welcome back to the Andrew Tate Show by GSMC Sports. In the first segment, we talked about not even a rumor, just speculation of Dak Prescott going to the Miami Dolphins. And now we are going to talk about the recently released college football playoff schedule. Give me 1 second. So the schedule for the first ever 12-team college football playoff has been officially released. The expanded format marks a significant shift from the previous 4-team playoff, providing more opportunities for teams to compete for the national championship. The CFP announced the dates and times for all 11 games on Wednesday, setting the stage for a thrilling postseason. The playoff action kicks off with the first round games on Friday, December 20th and Saturday, December 21st. The opening game is scheduled for 8 p.m. Eastern on Friday, followed by 3 games on Saturday. The first 2 Saturday games, airing at noon and 4 p.m. Eastern, will be broadcast by TNT Sports, while ABC will cover the pre-time game at 8 p.m. Eastern as well as Friday's game. ESPN will handle the broadcast for the remaining games, beginning with the quarterfinals. The Fiesta Bowl kicks off at 7:30 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday, December 31st. New Year's Day will feature 3 quarterfinal games: the Peach Bowl at 1 p.m. Eastern, the Rose Bowl at 5 p.m. Eastern, and the Sugar Bowl at 8:45 p.m. Eastern. The semifinals are set to take place at the Orange Bowl and Cotton Bowl. The Orange Bowl is scheduled for Thursday, January 9th, and the Cotton Bowl will follow on Friday, January 10th. The grand finale, the national championship game, is slated for Monday, January 20th, a full month after the playoffs commence. The new 12-team format was decided upon after a decade of using a 4-team playoff system. The top 5 conference champions in the CFP rankings will automatically qualify, with the remaining 7 spots filled based on the rankings. The top 4 conference champions will receive byes into the quarterfinals. Teams ranked numbers 5 through 8 will host first-round games at their home stadiums. In a nod to tradition, conference champions will be assigned to a quarterfinal game based on long-standing affiliations. For instance, the SEC champion is likely to play in the Sugar Bowl, while the Big Ten champion will probably feature in the Rose Bowl. The national championship game on January 20th is notably later than the final game of the previous 4-team format, which saw Michigan triumph over Washington 34-13 on January 8th of this year. This expanded playoff not only extends the season, but also promises more excitement and competition as teams vie for the ultimate prize in college football.
All right. So, give me your thoughts on the game. I mean, on the playoffs here.
Well,
are you excited about it being a 4-team playoff? I mean, going away from that 4-team playoff.
I think it's going to definitely be interesting to see how it all works out in terms of the new system, because it's going to be new, so people are not going to be as used to it. You will have to figure out. Not figure out, but it's nice that the season is extended. That will be, it just gives people more chances to watch football. January, kind of a blah month. So we'll see. Okay,
and I'm going to give you my take. I love this. I absolutely love this. When I saw this, I was super excited. The only thing I don't like about the new college football playoffs, because to me, this is the first time it's actually going to give a true national champion. There's been so many times over the years where there's been, other teams that should have been contending for the national championship. And I'll give a great example of Georgia and Florida last year, Florida State. Both of those teams were arguably some of the best teams in the nation, but a committee decided they weren't good enough to make the playoffs. Now this is truer. You're having a 12 teams. The top 12 teams are actually competing for that national championship. The only thing I wanted to change is the first 4 games. Instead of having those at home, there's so many bowl games that are just worthless, absolutely worthless. Take 4 of those bowl games and make them matter. Make those bowl games first round games. So if you added 4 of them, the Alamo Bowl, I don't want to go Pop-Tart Bowl, but is there a Pop-Tart Bowl? Yes, there is a Pop-Tart Bowl. There's so many of these other bowls. By adding them and making those first round games, I feel like it gives the bowl system what the big worry has always been. With a larger playoff, what happens to the bowls? It kills the bowl season. Well, now if you by adding 4 additional bowls, that means there's 10 really important bowl games that matters, and it becomes part of that tradition that you want to make one of those 10 bowl games. It's going to be, everyone knows the important games. It's going to be the Peach Bowl, the Fiesta Bowl, the Rose Bowl, the Sugar Bowl, the Cotton Bowl, and the Orange Bowl. But if you added 4 extra bowls instead of having them home games, having them as a bowl game, I think that makes it more like those first round games are kind of like extensions of the regular season, which is kind of like, okay. Where making a bowl, it gives it that playoff feel. That's the only thing I didn't like about this, but as a whole, I absolutely love it. I'm excited that the traditional major bowls, like I said, the Orange Bowl, the Cotton Bowl, the Sugar Bowl, Peach Bowl, the Rose Bowl, and the Fiesta Bowls, they still matter. And then the national championship. I don't have a problem with the schedule. I would have loved to see the schedule push the entire season back, and the national championship game is on New Year's Day. That would have been amazing. But that's the only 2 problems that I had with this. It's gonna be exciting. I do agree that there's going to be some affiliations there where, that the Big Ten champion are going to end up traditionally in that Rose Bowl. That relationship has been going on for so long. The Sugar Bowl, which is in the South, that's going to be one of the SEC teams. So it's going to be, let's say, I don't quite know where Peach Bowl and Fiesta Bowl, where they will end up, but you'll end up with the Big 12 and 1, and it'll be nice. I'm really excited about this. This is what I've been waiting on since I was a little kid. When I first started watching, there wasn't even.
Did you manifest this too?
Oh, I've been wanting this for since I was a little kid. Imagine this. That teams would play their season, then play their bowls, and then the coaches poll would vote for a national champion, and the AP poll would vote for a national champion, and that would be the national champion. And it'd be like, oh, that's horrible. Then they decided to do the BCS. And the BCS, they'd have 2 teams that would actually play. The coaches, the AP poll and coaches poll and computers would put the 2 top teams, who they think are the 2 top teams, in a game that would play. But there were other teams that were just as good that could have played in those games. So still didn't like it. Then the current format, where the top 4 teams, a little bit better, but finally they have this exactly the way it should be. 12 teams, 16 teams, doesn't matter. Now we have what I feel a true national champion. When it gets down to the end, the team, whether it's a 12 team or 16 team, anyone that can make it through a 12 team playoff, you can't question they are the best team in the country.
So,
Go ahead. What are you going to say?
This way makes more sense to me. I mean, it's not like I'm hugely knowledgeable about all the history of everything, but this makes more sense. It also seems to me to make the bowl games make more sense. I've always been someone that's like, oh, it's bowl season. I don't quite know what the point of the bowl games
it's
are.
Kind of like
it's nice for the teams that get to play in them, I guess. But
a lot of players don't even want to play in them because it's the end of the year, right, and they don't want to get injured. They don't want to hurt their draft stock because they're playing for nothing. Now,
that's my question.
If you're playing in the Rose Bowl, you're playing for the national championship. Right away. You're fighting for the national championship and moving on. That is, people are gonna play. They're gonna be excited about that Rose Bowl. I'm excited about this. The only thing is, like I said, those early games. That's I don't like that they're gonna be home games. I feel like if you've made the playoffs, no matter where it's at, you already have teams that are going to get a bye. Why I think everyone should be playing on a neutral field. Give everyone a fair shot.
Makes a lot of sense. Yeah, so that for you is really the only drawback.
The only drawback. I'm totally excited about this.
Well, we will be talking about it, I am sure, and we'll see. I mean, we'll see how people react to it. Also, that's always interesting.
Oh, I think this is going to be huge. I think this is what's going to really put some serious interest in college football. College football will never be bigger than the NFL, but this is going to make college football our number 2 sport in America.
Well, change is constant in college football right now, and this seems
that is an understatement.
This seems to be a positive change, but we'll see how it's a little hard to keep up with all the changes sometimes. But hopefully, this one's a positive change, and we'll see how it literally plays out.
Because, like I said,
January.
Before we go, last year, Georgia did not get to defend the back-to-back national championship. Didn't get a chance to contend for the defend their championship. Florida State went undefeated, but wasn't able to make the playoffs. That doesn't happen ever again.
Right. Well, looking forward to it, and we will talk about that in a few months. So I'm sure we'll talk about it going up to those few months as well. Time for our second break of this episode. When we come back, we'll be talking about Duke and the SEC. You are tuned in to the Andrew Tate Show by GSMC Sports, and we will be right back.
Looking for your daily fix of sports talk without having to pay for it? GSMC Sports Network is available on YouTube. Just search GSMC Sports Network. Get your fix of daily sports talk shows on YouTube. Absolutely free. NFL, college football, NBA, MLB, MMA, UFC, fantasy football, and so much more. GSMC Sports Network has shows running all day long, with new sports shows starting every 2 hours. Just like on your favorite cable sports channel, except GSMC Sports Network is absolutely free. Just search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube to catch one of your new favorite shows, like the GSMC College Football Podcast, Chip Shot Football Podcast, Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, GSMC Basketball Podcast, and so many more. Check it out for yourself. GSMC Sports Network, now available on YouTube absolutely free. Search GSMC Sports Network on...
Welcome back to the Andrew Tate Show by GSMC Sports. In the first segment, we talked about speculation of Dak Prescott going to the Miami Dolphins. In segment 2, we were talking about the recently released college football playoff schedule and how we are looking forward to that. And now, as we go into segment 3, I do want to remind you that we do get a lot of questions during the... One second. We do get a lot of questions during the show. If you go to gsmcpodcast.net, you can leave a tip or a donation that will enable you to get your question at the top of our list, ensuring that we see it. Again, that is gsmcpodcast.net. It's another way for you to support the show and the network. Moving into segment 3, within the SEC, there is growing advocacy for Duke's illustrious basketball program to become part of the SEC, the conference. This proposal, however, suggests that only the basketball team would make this move, while the rest of Duke's athletic programs would join another conference. This idea is generating significant buzz and speculation about the future of college sports alignments. Duke basketball is one of the most storied programs in NCAA history under the leadership of legendary coach Mike Krzyzewski. Thank you. You know what? That's Polish, and I should have known. I just read it phonetically. Thank you. The Blue Devils have amassed 5 national championships and numerous conference titles, known for its intense rivalries, particularly with North Carolina, and its consistent presence in the NCAA tournament. Duke basketball is a powerhouse that commands respect and attention. The SEC is already a formidable conference in college sports, particularly in football. However, adding Duke basketball would significantly bolster its basketball credentials. The SEC, while strong in many sports, has historically lagged behind the ACC and the Big Ten in basketball prestige. The inclusion of Duke would instantly elevate the SEC's status in college basketball, attracting more media attention, higher television ratings, and potentially more lucrative sponsorship deals. For Duke, joining the SEC Basketball League could provide several advantages. The SEC's substantial media rights deals and financial stability would ensure that Duke's basketball continues to thrive economically. Moreover, the high level of competition within the SEC could further enhance Duke's recruiting appeal and the overall quality of its basketball program. However, this proposal is not without its challenges and concerns. Splitting Duke's athletic programs between two conferences could create logistical headaches and complicate scheduling and travel arrangements. The rest of Duke's sports teams would have to adjust to a new conference, which could disrupt established routines and rivalries. Additionally, the cultural fit between Duke, known for its academic rigor and traditional ACC rivalries, and the SEC, with its distinct regional flavor and focus on football, might pose integration challenges. The identity and branding of Duke basketball are deeply intertwined with the ACC, and moving to the SEC could alter that dynamic in unpredictable ways. If Duke basketball were to join the SEC, it could trigger a series of realignments across college sports. Other conferences might seek to bolster their ranks by targeting prominent programs, leading to a domino effect of schools changing affiliations. This potential upheaval underscores the shifting priorities in college sports, where financial incentives and media rights increasingly drive decisions. Advocates within the SEC argue that Duke's addition would benefit the conference as a whole, not just in basketball, but enhancing the overall brand and prestige of SEC athletics. They point out that bringing in a basketball powerhouse like Duke would attract top talent and generate more competitive excitement throughout the season. As discussions continue, it's clear that the potential for Duke basketball to join the SEC is more than just an idea. It's a reflection of the dynamic and rapidly evolving nature of college athletics. Both the SEC and Duke will need to carefully weigh the benefits and challenges of such a move, considering not only the financial and competitive aspects, but also the cultural and logistical implications. Tate, what do you think? Should just basketball move to the SEC, and where should the other sports go?
So this kind of comes from all the speculation of what's going to happen to the ACC. And to bring everyone up to speed, which if you've been watching the show, you probably have heard enough of this. Florida State is suing to get out of the out of the ACC. So is Clemson. And there's a lot of speculation that North Carolina, who is not happy, wants out of the ACC. If that happens, there's speculation that the ACC would collapse. In that particular case, what would happen to some of these teams? And so there's been a lot of speculation. Okay, Miami would most likely go to the Big Ten. People speculate that Florida State would either end up in the SEC or the Big Ten. North Carolina could go to either or as well. But then there's speculation like, okay, what happens to schools such as Virginia Tech, Pittsburgh, Syracuse? There's a lot of speculation those schools would end up in the Big 12. But when you look at the ACC, everyone talks about that Duke, North Carolina, and what would happen. And so the whole speculation would be if North Carolina went to the SEC, then the SEC would want a Duke. Maybe not for their football program, but they would definitely want them for their basketball program. The SEC is, in my opinion, way behind the other conferences. I think it would go. The Big 12 is the biggest, the best, and when it comes to basketball, followed by the ACC, the Big East, the Big Ten, then the SEC. And adding schools like North Carolina and Duke would be a big deal. Making sure it also makes great sense because of the fact that if something like that was to happen and the ACC was to go away, one thing you'd want is you wouldn't want that ACC ACC rivalry of Duke, North Carolina to go away. And the best way to preserve that would be to bring North Carolina in on all schools. but bring Duke in for basketball because you still would want that North Carolina Duke game every single year. I think if North Carolina and I put North Carolina and Duke as a package deal anyway. If, let's say, North Carolina decided to go to the Big Ten, don't be surprised if Duke is a perfect fit to go to the Big Ten. So those two schools are kind of connected at the hip, kind of like USC and UCLA. They both ended up going to the Big Ten. Cal and Stanford, they both ended up in the ACC once the Pac-12 collapsed. Well, Duke, North Carolina is one of those relationships where I couldn't picture Duke and North Carolina not together any longer. I couldn't picture a Cal and Stanford not together, or a USC, UCLA not together any longer. So some schools are kind of like packaged together. One of the questions that's have come up though is North Carolina and North Carolina State. Are they packaged together? And that whole Tobacco Row area where it's Duke, North Carolina, Wake Forest, NC State. That's one of the things that, like conference realignment, that I worry about that being blown up, because those four schools have always been connected together. But in this world of conference realignment where basketball hasn't been at the forefront, college football is at the forefront, some of those traditional rivalries are going to fall apart. But people thinking about one of the biggest of them all, the Duke North Carolina one, protecting that's one of the reasons why a lot of the speculation comes up. If North Carolina goes, Duke has to go with them. And so that's kind of the way I see it. I hope this doesn't happen. I don't want to see the ACC go away as much as I did not want to see the Pac-12 go away. But if it does happen, it's going to be real interesting on where some of these schools fall in. I could see a situation where Duke and Clemson and Florida State and Florida State, Clemson, and North Carolina all look at possibly leaving the ACC, especially that Florida State, Clemson. But I'm hoping that Duke and North Carolina, they stay in the ACC.
So what do you think about this idea of just one sport from a school going to a different conference? I can see, as you read through the reasonings behind it in that article, I can understand that. But if this were to become a trend, wouldn't that just be incredibly confusing and disruptive if more schools started doing this and were in multiple conferences?
Well, it's kind of that way right now, where you look at Washington State and Oregon State, because of the Pac-12 being blown up, they're going to be playing football in the Mountain West. And I think it's the Pacific Coast Conference they're going to play all their other sports in. You look at Notre Dame. Notre Dame is an independent, and they play an independent football schedule, but all of their other sports are all in the ACC. So it's not 100% something that's never been done. With the way things are going, that is a solution that I wish more teams would kind of consider. Is what's good for football may not be good for your school. Maybe, for instance, having one school where football is important, maybe going to one of those Power 2 conferences, but everyone else, does it really benefit USC baseball and gymnastics to be playing in the Big Ten and going to Rutgers for an event, which is in New York, or playing in the Midwest? Football-wise, it makes sense that USC and UCLA and Oregon and Washington are playing in the Big Ten. But for the rest of their programs, the travel isn't what's best for the school, the students, or the players. Breaking it up that way can actually benefit. So,
well, I feel like I'm repeating myself as though I've already said this in this episode. Change is constant in college football. College sports.
In college football, college sports is just gotten to be absolutely a madhouse.
It's going to keep you in topics. That's all I do. So,
absolutely.
Time for our third break. When we come back, still sticking with competition, we'll be talking about Nathan's famous hot dog eating contest and some recent drama. You are tuned into the Andrew Tate Show by GSMC Sports, and we will be right back.
For the best and latest podcasts available anywhere, go to the podcast app on your cell phone and type in GSMC to access free content-rich podcasts on health and wellness, book reviews, sports, entertainment, relationships, social media, movies, technology, finance, and even weird news. Subscribe and download the GSMC Podcast Network's family of shows, available everywhere podcasts are found.
Welcome back to the Andrew Tate Show by GSMC Sports. In the last segment, we were talking about youth basketball possibly going to the SEC. I brought it up with both of us, Tate, because I just wanted to know if you could hear the craziness that's happening by the window.
We're doing our show right when the landscapers are deciding to do some trimming. So if you hear the noise, we apologize. Hopefully our system kind of cuts that background noise.
This is not their usual day.
No.
So I do appreciate their efforts, though. I mean, I don't want to landscape, so I appreciate that they're out there. At any rate, we are moving on. Tate, you are a fan of the Nathan's hot dog eating contest, yes or no?
I am. Trust me. Joey Chestnut, Kobayashi back in the day. Yes, there's a bunch of those guys. I've been watching that since I was a kid.
Well, Joey Chestnut not going to compete this year.
Whoa, really? Okay, that one shocked me.
All right, so let's find out why. So Joey Chestnut, the undisputed king of competitive eating, won't be gracing the Nathan's famous hot dog eating contest stage.
That's like breaking news. That's major news. Yes.
I know. I saw it on, of all places, Facebook yesterday, and I thought, I'm not telling Tate yet. This marks a seismic shift in the annual events landscape. The saga began when it was revealed that Chestnut has inked a sponsorship deal with Impossible Foods, a major player in the meatless meat industry and a direct competitor to Nathan's famous hot dogs. This partnership proved to be the proverbial nail in the coffin for Chestnut's participation in the iconic contest, as Major League Eating, or MLE, deemed it a conflict of interest akin to a superstar athlete endorsing rival brands simultaneously. Chestnut's absence marks a significant departure from tradition, as the California native has dominated this event for 8 consecutive years, solidifying his status as a living legend in the realm of competitive eating. His unparalleled feats, including consuming a record-breaking 76 hot dogs and buns in 2021, have become synonymous with the Nathan's contest, making his exclusion all the more jarring for fans and organizers alike. While Chestnut expressed his disappointment at being sidelined from the event, citing his love for competing and celebrating America on the 4th of July, MLE stood firm in its decision to uphold the exclusivity provisions that have governed the contest for nearly 2 decades. The organization lamented the loss of Chestnut's participation, but emphasized its commitment to maintaining the integrity of Nathan's famous hot dog eating contest. The fallout from Chestnut's sponsorship saga has sparked debates within the competitive eating community and beyond. Questions loom over the future of athlete endorsements in the sport, with some advocating for stricter regulations to prevent conflicts of interest, while others argue for athletes' rights to pursue lucrative deals with brands of their choosing. As fans eagerly await Chestnut's return to the competitive eating circuit, the Nathan's famous hot dog eating contest stands at a crossroads, grappling with the repercussions of a sponsorship rift that has shaken its very foundation. So, thoughts?
Okay, this is not the first time this event has had a controversy. Why do I know this?
Why do you know this?
This is a shame. But
Your brain is it's an interesting place.
I am king of worthless information, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Back in the day, Kobayashi was the greatest hot dog eater in the history. Competitive. Thank you. In the world. And the big super match was this new up and coming guy, Joey Chestnut, and it was Kobayashi versus Joey Chestnut. Kobayashi versus Chestnut. And then a controversy happened, and Kobayashi couldn't compete any longer, and the Nathan Hot Dog Eating Championship, and then Joey Chestnut went on to dominate this event. And now it's sad to me to see that Joey Chestnut's reign ends kind of the way Kobayashi does, in controversy. Not, the time is passing by, but a controversy has ended this. The fact that I'm giving you serious answers on this is nuts. Go ahead. What are you going to say?
Well, I understand the sort of the exclusivity of the non-competing, and it is interesting that he's signed with basically
a meatless
meat,
a meatless hot dog.
But what
you know what? Think about this. You're knocking down 72 hot dogs, okay? 76 hot dogs. I
6 hot dogs with bun.
Give me at least 25 of those to make them vegan. I need the roughage. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
They clean out the pipes a little bit. That's how they solve this. Half of them Nathan's hot dogs, half of them the vegan dog.
A partnership.
Yeah,
a beautiful partnership.
This is the 50-50, because you gotta rotate those in, some of those all vegetable hot dogs in there with the real deal. Think about this, Sarah. If they told you right now you had to eat 76 hot dogs in a week.
In a week.
Could you do it?
So that's a little over 10 a day.
Yes.
I could, but I'd be so sick of hot dogs by the end.
Okay.
No.
I think my record is 6 hot dogs in a day.
Okay.
That's like, I can knock out 6
throughout the day. Like that helps. So
I'm thinking, let's see, 10 a day. I could definitely knock out 10 a day. I could hit 76, because you're talking about 3 for lunch, 3 for breakfast, 3 for lunch, 3 for dinner, and then a little afternoon snack.
Bedtime snack.
Your
bedtime hot dog.
How much is that? That's 10. So that's right about a little under 11 a day. So
you'd really have to eat 11 every day except the last day.
Yeah, no, 3 for breakfast, 3 for lunch, 3 for dinner, and then
bedtime hot dog.
Yeah, that's 9, 10, 11. So, and then 2, you're knocking out 2 dogs before bed. Your booty gonna be big. You're gonna be gut and butt.
I just say that when it's intriguing to me that this is your career. I mean, no shade if that's what if this is where you found your niche. Cool. I just don't know that I want my spouse to be a competitive eater simply because I'm gonna stay somewhere else for the few days after he eats 76 hot dogs because
he's releasing the hounds. He's releasing the hounds. You do not want to be crop dusted by Joey Chestnut. I'm just gonna let you know. You walk through the kitchen and he really look out below. No. And see, what's weird with Joey Chestnut I've noticed is like some of the Asian professional eaters, they've always been small and they're impressive what they can do. But I've seen Joey Chestnut his face kind of formed differently. If you look at pictures of Joey Chestnut when he first came in, and they were talking about him competing with Kobayashi, he was a regular looking dude. But over the years, the muscles in his jaws have gotten to be very big.
You mentioned that before. Yes. Yes.
So
right.
his face has gotten kind of disformed from eating all this food and having the jaw muscles and all this stuff. I find that more interesting than anything, that I've noticed his face has changed. As he, as you develop muscles, they get bigger and stronger.
Sure.
The moral of the story is you do not want Joey Chestnut biting your finger. That's the moral of the story on that one.
No.
But I have noticed that. And then, what are did they mention some of the other records that he holds?
This article did not, but I'm sure he.
Man,
it's not just he doesn't just eat hot dogs. He's a competitive eater, right? Like,
no. Look up real quick some of his records are. I mean, it's crazy. Or some of the competitive eating records that they do. It's just I don't know how you do it. There's a woman on TikTok.
I was just gonna say, you watch, and I've seen
she just goes around the country, going to all these places where you eat like a 5-pound burrito in so many minutes. You get it for free, and you get a shirt and all this stuff, and that's all she does. And the question is, one, how much money are these dudes making that they're willing to travel around the country and just?
Well, if she's only getting T-shirts and stuff, I would.
There's not enough T-shirts. You can't pay rent with a T-shirt. Here's the one I got from Oklahoma City. Is that good for an electric bill? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, the electric company is not accepting T-shirts and a picture of you eating a 40-pound hot dog. I don't understand how they make their money. It's always impressive. Were you able to find anything?
Okay.
Let's hear some of these.
141 hard-boiled eggs in 8 minutes.
That's the woman. That's the Asian woman. Who holds the record?
Well, no, this was under Joey Chestnut.
Oh, that's Joey. Oh, that's Joey Chestnut. Okay.
Records. Yeah, that was in 2013. So maybe that was broken by the woman you're thinking.
Or maybe but okay, wait a minute. I just want you to think about this. You talked about not wanting to be the spouse, and you're sleeping in bed, and look out below happens. He's burning the sheets, everything.
141. And the next one, 12 pounds, 8.75 ounces of asparagus.
Oh, it's asparagus pea.
Asparagus pea.
It's like he goes to the bathroom. It's like Darth Vader's lightsaber.
I think the enamel on the toilet bowl is
it's a lightsaber. It's just cutting right through the toilet like a Darth Vader light sword.
Yeah. 45 pulled pork sandwiches in 10 minutes.
Listen.
10 minutes.
Okay, I'm not hating on him on this one. I wish I could eat 45 pulled pork sandwiches. I definitely would love to. Go ahead.
53 Taco Bell soft beef tacos.
See, that makes me hungry.
I'm thinking about the bathroom issues later.
Here's the thing. If you done ate how many Taco Bell hot dogs?
53 soft beef tacos.
Listen.
Again in 10 minutes.
You go to any public restroom and you just blow that bad boy up.
Don't announce it beforehand. Do you want more?
Oh yeah, keep on going. Let me hear.
There's the hot dogs and 182 chicken wings in 30 minutes.
Ooh, see, I could be his. Listen. What he needs is a wingman.
A wingman.
Literally. I just go in there. Listen, I'm just gonna taste about a dozen of these suckers for you, just to see how they're gonna go down. I'm your coach. You're gonna need some extra soda on this one.
Oh, you're just gonna. Make sure things aren't poisoned.
Well, not necessarily that. I eat like 12 of those wings, And I'm like, you know what? They're kind of dry, so I want you to get some extra soda, maybe some blue cheese and ranch, because you need some lubrication, because these are kind of. So I'm there just to help him out. I'm his coach, so I have to try like the pulled pork sandwiches. Drop me off about 5 of those bad boys. I work on them, and then I coach him on how he should best approach these things.
Okay, there's actually a lot.
Okay.
Hamburgers, pork ribs, meat pies. Stop me if you want to hear the numbers on any of these. Corn.
No, you got to share with the audience. I mean, you can't just give numbers.
Okay,
You can
103 crystal burgers.
Wow.
13.76 pounds of pork rib meat. 23 6-ounce meat pies.
You can keep the meat pies.
28-ounce corned beef sandwiches. 390 shrimp wontons.
Oh, that's good. Is he dipping the sauce too?
It doesn't give me, doesn't give me information. 38-ounce gyros. Ooh, a gyro sounds really good right now.
Now, and I always think about, the show Man versus Food. Mm-hmm. The one guy, he started having so much health issues that he had to retire from it.
Yeah.
Well,
how competitive eaters do it.
Hey, Joe, other than a deformed face, he's
still he's not a big guy.
The question I have is, does he ever cook at home? And if you're Joey Chestnut,
Eat salad at home.
I'm literally like, he's only eating oatmeal, salad anytime. I mean, is he eating anything? Is he hanging out with his boys? And it's like, yo, let's order some pizza. Is he getting a couple of pizzas from Little Caesars when he's hanging with his boys?
He's eating probiotics and salad, and that's it.
And here's the thing, how you go out with friends, and you're like, no. We're gonna take you guys out to dinner. Is anyone ever taking him out to dinner? No. Oh, hell no.
Well, do we all get the meal free if he completes his giant steak?
No, I'm just saying. You going over to Applebee's. You're going to Applebee's to just hang out that day, and you're like, you're not thinking who you're taking with you, and you're like, you know what? We got this. We're gonna take you guys out to dinner, and then he orders like, the Applebee rib plate, but he orders like 35 of them.
Here's one that you would like: 25 and a half ice cream sandwiches in 6 minutes. I know you're a fan of the ice cream sandwich.
You know what? I challenge him on that one.
Brain freeze.
Oh, I don't got time for brain freeze. I'm doing that one.
He ate a whole turkey in 10 minutes. 9.35 pounds.
See, I'm not intimidated by the quantity. It's the time.
It's the time frame, yeah.
If you let me take my time, I could do these. I just need to spread it out. I can't be doing no 10 minutes.
81 waffles, 17 and a half cherry pies in 8 minutes.
He ate 17 waffles and cherry pies at the same time?
Sorry.
Oh.
81 waffles in 8 minutes and 17 and a half cherry pies in 8 minutes.
I don't care about the waffles. Give me pancakes and I'll challenge him.
Yeah. 14 pounds of bologna in 8 minutes.
Oh, hell no. Don't you die after you eat you eat a package of bologna, you might as well start filling your wheel out, right? Goodbye, cruel world. It's over.
Death by bologna. Oh, that's terrible. I think that's where we're going to...
Because I think it's like, if you eat 8 packs of bacon, it'll kill you.
Like 13, 8?
8? No, maybe it's 13. If you ate, I think they figured up 13 packs of bacon will kill you. That's the reason why you don't see bacon on there, because he walks in there.
I did not see bacon.
Because somebody has to go through and check that out, because there's certain things like bacon. You eat 8 or 13 packs of bacon. It's cancel Christmas for you.
How did you figure that out though? Here, sit down.
Well, I remember.
Today 12, but that guy keeled over at 13.
I remember the woman in Sacramento. She went on the radio station and she had to drink so much water and so much time to get like a video game system. And she OD'd on water and died, and everybody at the station got fired over it.
Jeez.
And I remember her saying like she didn't feel well, and they were laughing about it because in defense of these guys, there's a horrible story, but they didn't think you could actually OD on water, but she OD'd on
anything,
on water, and she passed. And so there has to be someone checking that stuff, because you just should be like, I'm on 122 boiled eggs or 76 hot dogs without spontaneously combusting.
No spontaneous combustion. We're going to take a break. There probably won't be any food during our break, but
I'm definitely going to lunch.
I really want a gyro now. So when we come back, still food related, but a restaurant in St. Louis has implemented an age restriction that is creating some controversy. You are tuned in to the Andrew Tate Show by GSMC Sports, and we will be right back. Welcome back to the Andrew Tate Show by GSMC Sports. In the last segment, we were talking about Nathan's famous hot dog eating contest and the fact that Joey Chestnut will not be competing this year due to conflicting sponsorship deals. Sticking with the food theme, we are talking about a restaurant that has implemented some age restrictions. It is Bliss. On May 26th, Bliss Restaurant, a recently opened Caribbean restaurant in Florissant, Missouri, announced a policy for its patronage that has since gone viral around the internet. The eatery, which serves dishes like oxtail, jollof rice, and fried plantain, revealed that it has age restrictions for entry. Women must be 30 or over, and men must be 35 or older to dine. As a Black-owned business, Bliss Caribbean Restaurant is dedicated to providing North County with an upscale dining experience, Bliss Restaurant wrote on Facebook, adding that the restriction ensures a, quote, grown and sexy atmosphere, end quote. The restaurant lists 3 reasons for the policy: that it creates a mature and relaxed atmosphere for its guests, that the restriction allows staff to focus on quality, and that the policy ensures our restaurant remains a premier destination for those seeking an upscale Caribbean dining experience. This policy helps us maintain a sophisticated environment, uphold our standards, and support the sustainability of our unique ambiance, Bliss wrote. Bliss later added in a June 7th post that its Friday happy hour is strictly for the grown and sexy, so we're keeping it classy. Ladies 35 and up, ladies 30 and up, fellows 35 and up. Assistant manager Erica Rhodes gave more insight into the eatery's reasoning, speaking to local NBC affiliate KDSK. She said it's just something for the older people to come to and have a happy hour. Come get some food, some good food, and not have to worry about so many young folks that bring some of that drama, she said. Owner Marvin Pate also told the station, "Of course we have been getting a little backlash, but that's okay because we're sticking to our code." KDSK also noted that patrons who enter the restaurant will have to show their ID to a hostess or St. Louis County police officer after 7 p.m. Wednesdays through Sundays. The Missouri Hotspot's age policy has spread around the internet, drawing conversation on TikTok as well as a post on the extremely popular Instagram account, The Shade Room. Pate says that reaction to the policy has been mostly positive, with comments on social media seemingly backing that up on many different platforms. Grown folks only and no twerking on the tables. I support it, wrote one commenter on X. We need 10 of these in California, said one X user, and another added, don't we though? We need about 4 in Oakland alone, LOL. I respect this, wrote an Instagram commenter. And there are lots of other comments that we can go through. But before we look at more comments, thoughts?
I'm upset.
Well, about what?
I am upset.
Okay, share.
Where are these restaurants where people are twerking on tables? I've never been to a restaurant. I've never gone like, I'm gonna go get me a sandwich and some fries and a drink. And it's like, oh wow, there's a woman twerking on the table. I may stick around and get me a second order of fries and some apple fritters. I don't get these restaurants.
You know
I've been all over the world.
With my luck, I would get the restaurant and it would be the creepiest person twerking on the face of the planet. I would know. I'd be out.
I didn't know there was a twerking epidemic at restaurants where you walk in and it's like, you know what? Sorry, we had to put an age restriction in. These fools are out here twerking everywhere. When did this happen?
You don't currently live in the U.S. Maybe maybe it is an epidemic.
A brother only been gone a couple of years. I'm ready to move back. If it's that much twerking going on the tables, and you go to IHOP.
It's Waffle House.
Oh Lord, yes. You go there, you go to your Denny's, you're like, get me that Rudy Tooty fresh and fruity, and if somebody jump on your table and start twerking, that's, I understand how that goes down.
I think Rudy Tooty fresh and fruity is the original name for twerking.
That is the clinical name, the scientific name for twerking is Rudy Tooty fresh and fruity. Go around and shake that booty. That's what I'm saying. Okay. Now, I'm sorry to say this. I'm a supporter. It's a black-owned business. I hope they have great success.
Well, it doesn't sound like the age restriction is in place. I thought it was all the time, but it sounds like it's because 7 p.m. on only Wednesday.
Okay, because if not, that is a restaurant that's going to go out of business soon. You can't be turning away people. Sorry, you're 33. You can't come in here. But I got my wife and my kids. We having dinner.
My wife's 32. She could come. But
the kids and I can't. We can't go. That's I think is a horrible concept. I don't mean any harm, but they're talking about how it's a more upscale, nicer environment. And I was looking at the pictures when you were putting those in
it looks nice, doesn't it?
It was.
I mean,
I'm not okay. That place is not going to win a Michelin star. As far as looking at it as a nice place. If you don't mind, go back to the pictures again and take a look.
Now, I will say it looks nice, but at the same time, I wonder who has to clean all of that floral and fauna that's happening. Give me 1 second. There you go.
Okay. I'm sorry. I've been to a lot of restaurants in my day, and I've gone to some nice ones, and I support them. I hope, but it's not.
Like, are those plastic flowers? I don't want to dust those.
Right. This isn't cordon bleu. This is not, it's a nice place, but they're saying you have to be this age. It's for the upscale. I don't look at that as an upscale place. I look at it as a nice place, and I support them. Would I eat there? I would, because I'm grown and I can go, because their rules say I'm grown enough to go. But I don't think it's right to exclude someone because of their age on that.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to bring up,
especially for a restaurant. It's a restaurant.
So it's there are a couple people that agree with you.
Okay, let me hear some of the comments.
This one made me laugh. Them seats look like they came from someone granny house. Now I get why it's for old people. Commented one person on an image of the restaurant's velour banquette seating.
Okay.
Other people's comments: age does not equal maturity, meaning it's a lot of 30+ adults that still act childish. Someone else wrote, higher risk of younger people to be less mature. They're very anti-young adult and even worse, anti-child. Their prices are high, wrote one Facebook user.
That's the other thing I was thinking about. It is not only anti-young adult, but it is anti-family.
Yeah.
They're not, you're not bringing your family in there. And I'm not talking about families with young infants. Let's say you're qualified. You're a couple of 40-year-old parents, and you got a 16 and an 18-year-old kid, and you guys are going out to dinner.
Right.
You go to this place, you can't come in. I'm sorry, you got to leave those rugrats in the car. What rugrats? He's 18.
Yeah.
She's 16. Sorry, can't come in.
Yep.
That sounds absolutely crazy. It won't last.
Well, now again, if it's only for those specified hours, maybe, but I think it's still gonna cause a lot of controversy. But this has been a kind of a growing trend of, like, there was a in September 2023, a restaurant charged a family a $50 fee because of loud kids. In January, an Oklahoma restaurant went viral on TikTok after posting a rant about noisy kids. So I mean, it's an ongoing conversation.
Wait a minute though. You can try to charge somebody $50 for loud kids, but I'm gonna tell you this right now. If I'm sitting down at the restaurant, I'm having a nice dinner, and my kids are getting a little rowdy, and it's like, yo, Junior, shut up, calm down. And then they come over, and my bill is $50 higher, and it's like loud ass kid fee. I'm not paying it.
The LAK feed.
They're gonna have to call the police on me, because I may just walk out without paying the bill at that point and explain this is the reason why we left. We were willing to pay our bill, but then they tried to add on another $50 fee. Nah, that's not for me.
Sure as heck not tipping.
Tipping at all, zero. And I love the tip. I'm a tipper, so I always give a nice tip. Even here in Europe, where
it's for
a lot of people don't like to tip, I still tip. But no, you can't do that. I think this is crazy. I shouldn't say that too. I'm not going to get too rowdy, because the place did say they serve oxtails, and brother kind of get weak, and got a little weak in the knees on that one.
Too rowdy because you are over 35.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm grown enough there. I'm grown enough to order some oxtails at this place. So that's why I'm not going to bash them too hard, because I'm hoping they'll be successful so I can swing by and get me some oxtails. And you know what? I'm for this place now. I don't want to be excluded from the oxtails just in case I'm in the area. So I'm pro them. Go ahead, Bliss.
I think you're just hungry.
Oh, I am starving right now.
Here that you are just hungry. And
you can't hit me with oxtails at Bliss and then Kobayashi knocking off pulled pork sandwiches. Not Kobayashi, but Joey Chestnut. Pulled pork sandwiches, hot dogs, and burgers and all that stuff. And you wonder why I'm ready for this show to end so a brother can go get his eat on.
Well, are you going to eat 76 hot dogs?
Give me time.
At least you're old enough to eat the oxtails. You're allowed to eat whatever you would like at lunch. At any rate, thank you for tuning in to the Andrew Tate Show by GSMC Sports. Your support means a lot to us, so please remember to like, follow, and subscribe to the show, and also leave us a positive review. That really does help. You can also follow the podcast on social media. You can find us on Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok for more update and content. Also, we love hearing from you, so come find us on social media. In the meantime, thank you for tuning into this episode of the Andrew Tate Show by GSMC Sports. We hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
Oxtails.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great. I don't wanna go to